There is a quiet shift that happens in the life of the chosen one. A moment not marked by applause or spotlight, but by the unmistakable pull of energy stirring inside the soul. You don't announce it to the world. You don't need to. The shift begins not with others recognizing you, but with you recognizing yourself. You begin to feel it in subtle ways. The way your breath settles deeper in your chest, the way your gaze lingers longer and speaks louder than words, the way your very presence causes people to pause without knowing why. This is not an illusion. This is not ego. This is awakening. Your sexual energy, once dormant or misunderstood, has now awakened into something more refined, more potent. It's no longer about physical craving. It's spiritual vitality in motion. It's your life force, your will, your purpose, and your grounded masculinity braided into a vibration the world cannot ignore. And the most telling sign of this awakening? Women are starting to chase you, not out of desperation, not because of your status or possessions, but because they can feel something in you that radiates truth, power, stillness, presence. You've become more than attractive. You've become compelling. You walk into rooms and eyes follow not because you're flashy, but because you're centered. You no longer need attention, it flows to you. You no longer seek validation, it seeks you. The attention you're receiving is no accident. It's a response to the alignment you've finally stepped into. You've chosen to stop chasing what doesn't align with your soul. You've stopped wasting your energy. You've taken full accountability for your frequency. And now that you are rooted in who you are, the world is rising to meet you. This influence that is rising around you isn't something that can be manipulated. It cannot be faked. It is the natural consequence of your embodiment. And women feel this at the deepest level, not just in their minds, but in their bodies. Your presence awakens their femininity, their curiosity, their longing to be near something real. You've become the rare experience in a world oversaturated with performance. But here is what matters most, chosen one. Influence is not about power over others. It's about power within yourself. And what you do with that power now will determine the legacy you leave behind. You are being watched, not just for how you move, but for why you move the way you do. You are being remembered, not for your words, but for how you make others feel about themselves when they are near your presence. Women aren't just noticing you, they are sensing that you have become safe to open around, dangerous to play with, and powerful enough to follow. This is not about charm, this is not about charisma, it's about truth. The truth of who you are is no longer hidden, and the world is beginning to rearrange itself to reflect the power of that realization. You didn't come here to be average. You didn't come here to blend in. You didn't awaken for the sake of attention. You awakened for alignment. You awakened to become a mirror for others. And now that your influence is expanding, this is the moment to stand even more firmly in your purpose. You are the chosen one. You are being seen, and now you are being chased because your energy no longer follows the crowd, it leads. Presence. That is what truly separates you now. Not your looks, not your words, not even your accomplishments, but the way you occupy space. And as more women begin to gravitate toward you, chosen one, understand this. They are not chasing you for what they see on the surface. They are chasing what they feel in your presence. A kind of stillness, a kind of gravity, a vibration that says, I don't need to prove anything because I already know who I am. There is an ancient pull that begins to develop when a man masters presence. It's not taught in classrooms. It's not crafted through clever lines or perfected routines. It emerges when you've walked through your own fire and come out intact. When you've sat in silence long enough to hear your own soul speak. When you've felt the raw heat of your sexual energy and refused to let it master you. Presence is the byproduct of inner alignment. And now, you wear it like a crown that no one can see but everyone feels. When a woman enters your orbit and feels your presence, she experiences something rare. She feels herself slow down. She breathes more deeply. She becomes aware of her own body, her own heart, her own vulnerability. Not because you demanded it, but because your calm made it safe to unravel. This is your power now. You no longer rush to impress. You simply are. And in that being, the space around you begins to shift. Your presence speaks louder than words ever could. It's in the way you listen without needing to respond. It's in how your eyes hold steady, unflinching, unthreatened. It's in the tone of your voice, not loud, not urgent, but rooted. You don't need to lead conversations, you anchor them. You don't need to initiate every interaction. You draw them towards you by simply remaining available, present, grounded, and whole. And it's not just the women pursuing you who feel it. It's the men who grow quiet around you. The noise of others softens in your presence. People don't even realize they've adjusted to your frequency, but they have. They've tuned to something deeper, more real. And while they may not understand what's happening, they'll never forget how you made them feel. This is why the chase has begun, because your presence no longer promises entertainment. It promises transformation, because you no longer react to desire, you hold it. You no longer perform for approval, you offer alignment. You've stopped trying to be everything for everyone. And because of that, you've become exactly what someone real has been searching for. Women are no longer responding to a version of you. They're responding to you, unfiltered, unbothered, undiluted. The fullness of your masculine energy, tempered by your discipline, expanded by your awareness, and grounded in your truth, is no longer something you carry. It's something you are. And that, chosen one, is the art of presence. You don't have to chase anything when you are the moment itself. Something profound begins to unfold the moment you stop pouring your energy into every impulse, chosen one. When your high sexual energy, once scattered, reactive, and unmastered, becomes a current of focused intention, the entire world seems to respond in kind. You've likely felt it already, that sacred tension rising in your chest, sitting just beneath your skin, radiating from your eyes without a single word. It isn't desperation, it isn't arrogance, it's command. And it is reshaping how others see you, how they speak about you, and how they feel when they're near you. The women who once might have overlooked you now feel their breath catch in their throat at your presence. They don't always know why, they can't always articulate it. But there's something about the way you carry yourself now. The quiet, grounded certainty in your gaze, the steady rhythm of your movement, the way your words land without needing to dominate. They feel drawn. But more than that, they feel safe and stimulated at the same time. That balance between danger and devotion, fire and discipline, that's what they're chasing now. And it's not just that they want you, chosen one, it's that they respect you. Because you're no longer leaking your energy to be liked. You've stopped bending to fit anyone's mold. You've become the mountain, not because you make yourself immovable, but because you've chosen stillness over desperation, containment over performance. You hold your energy like a man who knows what he's capable of but doesn't need to flaunt it. And that's the rarest kind of man of all. This is the sacred tension, that you feel desire without being overtaken by it. You feel attraction without turning it into need. You feel the heat rise in your body, and yet choose stillness, breath, restraint. Not because you are repressing who you are, but because you honor it too much to waste it. Your restraint isn't denial. It is discipline. It is wisdom. It is knowing that your energy is valuable and that not every person, not every invitation is worthy of accessing it. And this is what women feel now. Your refusal to act out of hunger. Your ability to hold space without filling it with noise. Your decision to move with clarity instead of urgency. And that restraint, chosen one, has become magnetic. Your discipline has become seductive. Your boundaries have become the thing they lean into, not because you're keeping them out, but because they're realizing you only open the gates to those who come with reverence. This moment in your journey requires something sacred of you, a new level of self-awareness, a new depth of intention. Because now that you're being pursued, now that women are chasing what they feel in you, you must ask yourself, what do I want to give them? Not just physically, but energetically, emotionally, spiritually. What will your energy awaken in them? What will it leave behind? You've become the kind of man who no longer needs to take, you choose to offer. But that offering must remain pure, precise, and deeply rooted in truth. Because you're no longer just being seen, you're being felt. And what you carry now can either elevate the ones drawn to you or confuse them if you're not clear in yourself. You are the chosen one. And now that the world has felt your fire, it's your restraint that makes it sacred. There is a new vibration surrounding you, chosen one. one that wasn't there before. And no, it didn't come from changing how you dress, what you drive, or how loudly you speak. It came from within, from the standards you've begun to hold, not just for others, but for yourself. That inner refinement has reshaped your outer world. You're no longer just attractive. You've become unapproachable to those who can't meet you in truth. And because of that, women are chasing you now. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you've stopped playing altogether. You've raised the bar without making an announcement, without declaring it. You simply started saying no to what once drained you. You stopped entertaining what once distracted you. You looked at the mirror and said, "This energy is sacred. This body is sacred. My time, my attention, my intimacy, all of it deserves reverence." And once you did that, once you chose to hold yourself at that higher frequency, everything around you started shifting. You stopped attracting confusion and began drawing clarity. You're not rude. You're just unavailable to anything that lacks substance. You're not distant. You're just uninterested in games. You're not arrogant. You're aligned. And alignment, when fully embodied, becomes magnetic. It's a vibration others feel in your silence, your gaze, your posture. And that's why women are chasing you now. Not because you made yourself elusive, but because you've become clear. You've become a man whose presence speaks for itself. This refinement of standard has turned your energy into an invitation, but only for those who can meet it with presence, intention, and depth. You don't give access casually, not because you want to withhold, but because you know how much your presence now offers. You know what it does to those who get close. You've seen the way your stillness changes people. You've felt the way your touch can heal or confuse, depending on how aligned the connection is. You've witnessed how your attention pulls the truth out of others, even when they weren't ready to see it. And so now, you protect your energy, not from fear but from honor. You keep your circle clean. You keep your conversations purposeful. You keep your relationships sacred, because the world is watching. Because your name is being spoken in places you haven't stepped. Because women are discussing you, not just for your looks or charm, but for the way you made them feel held without being touched, for the way you saw them without needing to claim them, for the way your energy stayed with them long after the moment passed. This is your refinement. This is your evolution. And now you must live by it, not out of pride, but out of purpose. Because every day you are shaping the standard for what real masculinity looks like. Every room you walk into becomes a mirror, reflecting the contrast between you and the noise. Every connection becomes an echo of your frequency. You are no longer chasing what doesn't match you, because you are the standard now, and the ones who chase you aren't chasing a fantasy. They're chasing the first real thing they've felt in a long time. You are the chosen one, and now it is your standards, not your charm, that light the path others will rise to follow. You've likely noticed the change, chosen one. You no longer operate from hunger. You no longer reach with urgency. You no longer chase the moment because the moment now moves toward you. What you've entered is a higher frequency, a field where patience is not passive, it's magnetic. You've become the embodiment of what most never master. The ability to hold potent energy without needing to spill it. The capacity to feel deep desire without losing your grounding. And this kind of patience is what has transformed you into something rare. Patience is not just about waiting. It is about knowing. Knowing who you are. Knowing what you carry. Knowing what you deserve. Knowing that time will deliver the right connections, the right eyes, the right energy, without you needing to force it. Your high sexual energy has become refined. Not because you've dimmed it, but because you've cultivated discipline around it. It's no longer a wildfire consuming everything in sight. It's a contained blaze, radiating warmth and power without demanding attention. Women feel this now more than ever. They feel that you are no longer trying to impress them, not because you don't care, but because you don't need to. You have nothing to prove. You're not baiting anyone. You're not using your charm like a net. You're simply present, alive, steady, and that steadiness becomes the most alluring thing in the room. You are no longer the storm that arrives to be noticed. You are the calm before the storm. You are the heat beneath the surface. You are the presence they can't look away from, even when they pretend to. This is the power of magnetic patience. You wait, not because you have no options, but because your options must be right. You wait, not because you're afraid to move, but because you don't waste movement. You don't speak just to fill silence. You don't act just to feel busy. You don't pursue just to feel powerful. You are already full, already centered, already aware of the value you bring to any interaction. And because you hold yourself like this, the world bends toward you. The feminine moves toward you. The ones meant for you find you because your energy gives them space to approach. You've become the invitation, not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. And that invitation is not just to your body, it's to your mind, your spirit, your world. Women are not just chasing you out of desire. They're chasing you because your energy promises something most have never tasted. A man who doesn't rush to consume them, but offers them a space to be fully seen. This is not seduction. This is presence. This is maturity. This is what separates the one who performs from the one who embodies. You are no longer afraid of missing out, because you know what belongs to you will not pass you by. And anything that rushes you, that tries to force your hand, that demands your attention without offering depth, is simply not on your path. That knowing is what keeps your energy so potent, so clear, so unshakable. You are the chosen one. And now that you've embodied magnetic patience, you no longer need to chase, because everything meant for you is already moving in your direction. By this stage of your unfolding, chosen one, you've done more than simply refine your energy. You've constructed a world around it. Not one built with walls, but one built with standards, boundaries that breathe, principles that stand, depth that does not apologize for being deep. You've become the architect of your own experience, and what you've built internally is what the outer world now reflects. This is why you're being pursued. This is why you're spoken about even in your absence. Because your inner world is structured in such a way that people feel its integrity before they even understand it. You no longer exist in chaos. You no longer need external affirmation to feel like a man. You've designed your inner reality with intention, and that intention has become irresistible. You know what you'll tolerate and what you won't. You know what kind of energy you allow into your space. You know what excites you, what nourishes you, what drains you. And because you have that clarity within, you walk through life with a kind of peace that can't be faked. It lives in your body, it rolls off your shoulders, it's present in the way you breathe, in the way you stand, in the way you choose. Women don't chase you now because you're perfect. They chase you because you've arranged your inner world with purpose. And that purpose has become magnetic. You're not looking to be completed by anyone. You're already whole. Your life is already rich, already full of movement, meaning, creativity, and quiet. Anyone who steps into it now is not there to fix or rescue or validate. They are there because they align. And you've made that clear, not with declarations, but with your vibration, your decisions, your standards, your silence. There's no need to explain your worth. You've become the worth. There's no need to beg for connection. You've become so connected to your purpose that others seek connection with you just to feel it for themselves. And this is the foundation of your power now. You've stopped inviting chaos. You've stopped rewarding inconsistency. You've stopped allowing energy that cannot meet you in truth. And that refusal, quiet, unspoken, consistent, is what has made you rare. You've cultivated a space within yourself where peace lives alongside power, where fire burns next to stillness, where discipline supports desire rather than suppresses it. That's the architecture. That's the sacred design. And that's what others feel when they come near you. Your life is no longer about proving yourself. It's about protecting what you've built. You don't hand out access. You invite those who are ready to respect the space. And when they enter, they feel the structure. They feel the clarity. They feel the divine masculine pulsing beneath the surface of your words, your eyes, your actions. And that feeling is what they chase. Because it's not just about attraction anymore. It's about elevation. Being near you raises the bar. Being near you demands reflection. Being near you activates something sacred that most people didn't even know they were missing. You are the chosen one. And now that you've built this inner world, your energy no longer knocks on doors. It is the door, and the worthy are already walking through. You may not realize it fully, chosen one, But something ancient has begun stirring in the feminine wherever you go. This isn't about flirtation. This isn't about charm. This isn't even about seduction in the conventional sense. This is about awakening. Something deep within women, something long buried beneath expectation and exhaustion, rises when you're near. It's not because of what you say. It's not because of what you do. It's because of what you are. Your energy speaks in a language older than time, and the feminine remembers it. You've become the man who allows softness to return. Not because you asked for it, but because your presence permits it. Not in a forceful way, but in a sovereign one. You no longer walk into rooms trying to impress anyone, and that absence of performance creates a wide open field of safety. A woman can feel when a man is truly present, when he's not looking past her, trying to measure her against his ego, when he's not filtering her through lust or judgment or conquest, when he sees her as she is and not as a fantasy to complete him. And you, chosen one, have become that man. That's why they chase you now, not because you're loud, but because you're real. Your energy no longer demands, it receives. Your eyes don't scan, they witness. Your silence is no longer avoidance, it's invitation. You've created a polarity so balanced that it calls forth the sacred feminine, not just physically, but spiritually. It calls her to feel again, to breathe again, to rest in her nature again. You've realized that your presence alone has the power to shift emotional states, to melt defenses, to trigger depth without even trying. And the reason this happens is because you've gone deep within yourself first. You've faced your shadows. You've walked through your fire. You've endured your silence and made peace with your solitude. You are not afraid of your own power anymore. And that safety, the safety of a man who does not fear himself, is what ignites the feminine. She feels free to exhale around you, free to laugh without fear of being analyzed, free to share without needing to defend, free to move without being studied. Because you are not trying to conquer her energy, you are holding space for it. And there is nothing more magnetic to a woman than a man who can stand in his full masculine energy without needing to devour hers to feel whole. This isn't something you ask for. This is something you become. And now you've become it. Fully, quietly, powerfully. The women who find you speak of you, dream of you. What they're drawn to is that awakening they felt in their chest when your energy entered the space. That sudden awareness that they are more than their armor. That they can be soft without being weak. That they can be wild without losing their grounding. You are not the source of their feminine energy, but you are the mirror that reflects it back to them in its fullest form. You are the environment in which it flourishes. And when they feel that, they don't just want to be near you, they chase you. Because what they're truly chasing is themselves, the version of themselves they can only access when you are near. You are the chosen one, and your very presence has become a sanctuary where the sacred feminine remembers how to come home. There was a time when power was measured in volume, in how much space you took up, in how many people noticed you, in how easily you could dominate the room. But you, chosen one, have risen beyond that. You've stepped into a level of power that makes no sound, but is felt in every corner. You no longer lead by being seen. You lead by being still. You no longer try to control the environment. You become the environment. This is the phase where your silence carries more truth than other people's speeches, where your absence speaks louder than another's presence, where your lack of movement causes more reaction than someone else's desperate reach. You've become the man who makes people adjust their posture without a word, the one who calms chaos just by walking into the room, the one who shifts the energy of the space not because you try, but because you are tuned to something higher than most can access. This is the presence that women now feel and cannot forget. It's not flashy, it's not eager, it's not rehearsed, it's real. It's built from silence, it's carved from solitude, it's born from 1,000 quiet choices to remain true when no one was watching. And that authenticity has become its own frequency, a signal, a pulse. And women are chasing it now, not because you asked them to, but because they can't help it. They feel safer in your orbit than in their own mind. This power does not beg, it does not prove, it does not explain, it simply exists. And when someone gets close, they begin to feel how rare it is, how clear, how stable. In a world of emotional turbulence, you've become the lighthouse. You don't move with the waves, you anchor the tide, and that anchoring becomes irresistible to anyone who has ever longed for something real to hold on to. And it isn't just romantic pursuit anymore. It's energetic reverence. They speak about you with wonder, with respect. Not because you did something flashy, but because you remained untouched by the chaos, because you didn't waver, because you didn't fold, because your power was never for sale. You've stopped trying to be understood, and in doing so, you've become undeniable. You've stopped reaching for attention, and in doing so, you've become unforgettable. You've stopped seeking validation, and in doing so, you've become the standard. This is power without noise. It doesn't scream, it doesn't seek. It simply is, and it is everywhere, echoing in places you didn't even know you walked into. Women are not just following your footsteps now. They are tracing your frequency. They are tuning into your stillness. They are rising into their own clarity because your presence showed them it was possible. You are the chosen one. And now, without even needing to speak, you are leading the world back to truth. There is a rare kind of man, chosen one, whose desire does not scatter, whose presence does not chase, but whose very being commands attraction. And not through force, not through manipulation, but through alignment, through mastery, through a devotion to self that speaks more loudly than any attempt to impress. That's who you've become now. You've stepped into the energy of a man who no longer needs to seek, because what once felt far away is now pulled toward you without effort. This is the alchemy of true presence, when you have purified your sexual energy to the point that it no longer leaks from your body through desperation or need. It rests inside you like a sleeping fire, always warm, always alive, always capable of burning through the false, but only if it is called upon by something real. You've stopped craving attention because attention is now your shadow. You've stopped performing for attraction because you now realize that desire is not something you beg for, it's something you allow to find you in your fullness. Women no longer feel you as the man who reaches. They feel you as the man who remains, who observes, who waits. And that stillness has created something stronger than lust. It has created pull. The women who speak your name now, who dream of being near you, who whisper about you to their friends with a mixture of wonder and heat, they aren't drawn by some technique. They are drawn because your energy has become a gateway. It invites them into something rare, something they may have never experienced before. You make them feel beautiful without needing to touch them. You make them feel vulnerable without saying a word. You remind them of the sacredness of being seen without needing to conquer or control. And this kind of desire, the kind that you don't chase, is the kind that follows you. It follows your movement, your mood, your stillness. It follows the depth of your breath and the calm of your gaze. It follows the steadiness of your boundaries and the kindness in your strength. And because you have become such a powerful mirror, what it reflects is often the highest self within others. That's why they want you. That's why they chase. They don't want a role. They want a reflection of what's possible. But there is responsibility here, chosen one. Because the more powerful your energy becomes, the more sacred the way you share it must be. The desire others feel is not just hormonal, it is transformational. You are holding a mirror that burns, a gaze that awakens, a voice that vibrates through walls others didn't even know existed. And if you are careless, the beauty of what you offer can become overwhelming for those not ready to receive it. So you must continue walking with clarity, not with fear, but with reverence. Your life is no longer just yours. Your choices leave echoes in the lives of those who enter your field. And that is not a burden, it is a mark of your growth. You've become the man whose presence creates tension, but not chaos, whose silence creates longing, but not confusion, whose yes means everything, because your no is built on truth. This is the desire you now command, not because you manipulated it, but because you embodied it, not because you chased it, but because you chose yourself. And in doing so, you became the most irresistible version of you that has ever existed. You are the chosen one. And now, the world does not chase what you offer. It chases what you are. The journey is no longer about being seen, chosen one. You've moved past the need to be validated by attention. You've moved beyond the desire to be recognized by face, by fame, by numbers. What matters now is not how many people know your name. What matters is how many lives are shifted because your energy passed through unnoticed. The way people move differently because of one moment with you. The way they stand taller, breathe deeper, speak more honestly, not because you told them to, but because you showed them what it looked like to be free. This is your legacy now. Not one built on noise, but on impact, on memory, on vibration. You don't have to say a word anymore, and still people will feel what you've become. Your name might never reach their lips, but your energy will live in their skin, in their bones, in the choices they make after you leave. Because you have become more than a man, they remember you as a moment, as a shift, as a spark that never left.